Alright, everybody, welcome back, and, did I just say welcome back? Tiny Tirzah here, back with some Edith Finch gameplay. I am so sorry, I don't know what just, happened, but anyways, here I am back with this, so let's just get started onto it. I think we left off over here, so yeah, let's just do this. That's like super creative way to live, like build a house over a boat and make the boat your room area. That's like really creative. How in the world did they put a door?
Very familiar. That part of him lived on.
How did they put a door like right here? 'Cause like the boats have a very hard type of structure, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know. I probably don't make sense. It's like, don't listen to me. It's too hot right now. I can't focus. Oh, wow.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
High school diploma.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Ew.
He kept working at the cannery.
It must smell pretty bad.
But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to... wander.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was like, what?
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small.
Okay,
Imagining
multitasking
a labyrinth.
is hard.
He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Yeah, doing this is hard with like multitasking. Cutting fishes and then trying to like work with this thing is a little difficult.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Oh God,
He
that
built the
scared me.
city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. and
The
songs for them
dog.
to play.
He just joined in.
He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever.
I apologize
one
that
day
I
it
keep
struck
clearing
him.
my throat.
That all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished.
Wait, where did the dog go?
He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Mario!
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
Sorry, that's what I was thinking
It
of.
became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
This isn't safe.
New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
Excuse me.
Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Minneapolis.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
Why did I go here? I should have put handsome queen.
The prince was on his own quest for
No, I
Sinister
want
serpents.
radiant rainbow. Oh god.
He followed the sound of his electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Oh gosh, that's too much fish.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
A little door for him. Right. Also, I apologize again that I'm not really talking. Like I said before on the other video, I don't like to interrupt the narrative, like whoever's like speaking, because I feel like you all would want to hear it too, so I don't like to interrupt it. Don't want to annoy you all with me, like, you know, interrupting that. Oh, I thought I had to go there. But the door is like the only pretty thing looking there. Because this area looks disgusting.
We began to forget the world we know.
I don't know why, but I feel like looking back behind me.
I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery
Eh.
worker.
It must smell bad. It's gross.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Do you have a number?
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
He's just like, bye! I'm kidding.
The palace would be packed with his companions.
Oh gosh, they have no faces. That's so scary. I'm scared.
Including the wise Calico who had insisted on advising him.
It's just
His
like,
prince waited, holding his crown.
oh gosh.
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know.
Ouch.
Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Dang. That's sad.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Well, that was really sad. Alright, let's see what's next.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Oh, okay.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another.
Oh wow,
All
this is
that's left
actually
now
a
is to
beautiful
tell you
room.
about that last night.
That's her room, actually.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it?
She's
The
like,
grown-ups have
I
to
don't
all
care.
know.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the grandma was basically like, I do whatever I want. If I want to drink alcohol with my medications, then I'm gonna take it.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance.
It's a little scary,
Or
though,
that
to
Edie
live
had a
in the
key to
dark
it.
like this. Spooky.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your story. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
That's pretty mean.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Wow, so there was an earthquake.
But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Okay, I'd be terrified. I'd just get lost in the fog.
I got turned around.
I can't see.
I started seeing things.
A deer. Same one from the beginning.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Where did that water come from, though, that covered up this area? Soon it just turned into an ocean.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go!
Aw, I was really into that. I was like reading it.
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
I want to know the whole story.
I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
Oh wow, where'd she go? Like dead or just gone?
After that, we
disappeared?
moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But
That
she
is
started getting
so
sick a lot.
creative.
The rest happened pretty quickly.
Aw.
She got better for a while, and then she didn't.
So sad. My feelings right now.
And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive.
That's crazy.
Until until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
I'm coming out.
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now,
Can feel that heart rate on my
things
controller,
didn't
like
work
the
out that way.
vibration. I'm alive.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh, that's so sad. February 14th, 1999. The last Finch alive is that kid. I get chills with this game. It's just so sad. It's beautifully well said. The story's just pretty sad. It makes me really, really sad. Wow. For Shirley Dallas, 1948 through 2013. Wow, that's so deep. These are all the pictures. Oh, these are pictures of the people that made this game when they were kids, I suppose. Artists. That is so creative. I've never actually seen a game like this. Wow. Michael Kwan, technical designer. Wow, okay, so I know I keep saying that a lot. It's a really sad game. It really is. It makes you get into the feels. I didn't really understand some of the deaths, like Barbara, for instance. I didn't really understand that. I understood the other ones, but most of the time I didn't get everything else. It was just a little difficult on just quite understanding, like, the deaths of it. The baby one was what made me really, really sad on how, like, the baby died, because it's just a baby, and it was just, like, a happy child, and it just died, like, by drowning, because the mom was busy on the phone, and obviously the dad felt, like, a lot of regret for that, and that's truly sad. I'm all in my feelings now. Something about this game, though, it really does start making you feel a lot of, like, depression. When you first play the game and you beat it, you end up getting, like, a lot of depression because it's just so sad. So, like, I would say, like, it's probably not a really good game for people to play if they have, like, some sort of, like, mental health, like depression, because it'll make you feel sad in a way. But I don't know, that's just me. It made me feel really, really sad, and I keep repeating that. I want to talk about the dreadful stories. It really did remind me a lot of Creepshow. Even the character, the narrative part reminded me of that skeleton-looking guy on Creepshow that talks in the comics. It's pretty interesting. Like, that's what it reminded me of. But yeah, that's amazing. Everything was pretty interesting. Additional animation, we got the programming. Look, there's the peaches. It's just so interesting. The little girl with the gun. Megan Elson. I just think it's crazy that they put, like, real life photos of people in this game. Like, it's crazy good. Deborah Mars James Massey, I think that's how you pronounce it. What do you all think about this game? Did you like it? Was it interesting? Are you confused? I'm confused a little bit on some of the stories. If you understand some of the stories that I didn't, like the Barbara one, or what was the other one? Trying to think of it. I can't think of it at the moment, but there's only some that I just didn't understand. And if you know the type of specific way how they died, like, let me know in the comments. So yeah, just let me know if you all like this game, if it was interesting. I would like to hear your thoughts about it. I've never seen any game like this ever, so yeah. Anyways, that is about it for today. I hope you all enjoyed this gameplay. I mean, it was interesting. It's a pretty short game, so yeah, it was also very interesting, very sad. But like I said, I didn't understand Barbara's death. I also didn't get Milton's death because he just disappeared. So I don't think he necessarily died. I'm not too sure. I'm a little confused with that one. Yeah, who's Odin? I actually didn't get to Odin. I am so sorry. I think I probably missed somebody. Did I miss somebody? I don't know. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you did, let me know down in the comments. If you're confused about the story, I want to definitely know your thoughts. Anyways, give it a thumbs up and also subscribe and press that bell notification to be notified on my next upcoming gameplays. Thank you everybody for watching. Bye!